Racing X is revving up for millions, and we're kicking off our new series following some of the horses on their road to the big race with Queensland's champion trainer, Tony Gollan. Tony looks to have a great hand in the race this year. As you can see, some of the horses just came back from the trials, so let's go inside and talk to him about his prospects. All right, Tony, Racing X is revving up for the millions, and you've actually had great success in the 2-year-old classic with Skirt the Law. What is it like to win a race like the 2-year-old?
The magic means when we won that, it was like a monkey off my back, to be honest. It's a race I've been wanting to win more or less since the time I started training, and you get so close but you're always so far from winning it. So I'd won other races on the day before. Previously I had quite good results on Magic Millions Day without winning the feature. So when I won it, it was quite surreal. It certainly felt like any Group 1 I'd won.
So you've got quite a good hand coming up into the race, but I want to talk to you about Hi Barbie. You set tongues wagging when you bought her for a pretty penny. I know she's from a mare that you actually used to train in Outback Barbie. Can we expect to see her going to the races? She's had 2 great trials. What's in store for her?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Her family goes back a long way with me. Her, Colin McAlpine and myself actually bought the grandmother, Pure Perfection. Obviously went to Spirit of Boom, that's Outback Barbie, and then this is the first foal out of her. So it's a family I know all the lineage right through. Lovely filly. She's shown us a good bit right from the get-go. Trialled exceptionally well last week on wet ground. I think she's just as good, if not better, on good ground. So look, hopefully we see her run this weekend. We'll get through the rest of this week and see the acceptances and the barriers, etc., etc. But she's a high-quality filly. She's the right sort of filly that everything holds together to win a race like the Magic Millions.
We also saw Formula Rossa make her debut 2 Saturdays back at the Sunshine Coast. I thought she ran really well coming from behind on the heavy track. Yeah,
she was really good. She's a filly that showed nice speed in her trial, and she jumped well and she was going to be prominent. Then Antino had to go back. They all started booting up underneath. I think for the amount she did wrong to still run through the line as well as she did, she's the sort of the horse that had the flashing light out of the race. It's good to see her do it on wet and dry, because we know she's effective on dry ground as well. So she's a filly I think when you certainly get to the 1200, you're going to see the best of her.
Now there's quite an ownership group in that filly. You've got Black Soil, Bloodstock and the Boys on Tour guys. Quite a good ownership group, and I imagine there'll be a lot of fun when she does win a race.
Yeah, they are. The Boys on Tour, they're sort of a branch off of what the Black Soil sort of does, and they're a great group. They're all about mates skiing together, mates racing with mates, and started off with about 5 guys. I think there's over 60 of them now, and they just take a small percentage in a nicer style yearling and have an awful amount of fun. So they're very rowdy, they have a good fun, they're a really good mob of blokes, and the concept behind it for the men's mental health is fantastic.
It is a really great initiative, and I believe that you really value an ownership experience with your owners. How does that make a difference in attracting new audiences to racing?
I think anything that attracts people to racing is a good thing, isn't it? Whenever guys or girls can get together, we see in the lady syndicates, they've been quite the rage over the previous amount of years, and Skirt the Law was all lady syndicates. So there's been all different initiatives to get people to the races, and I particularly like the Mates with Mates one. I think it's good for guys to get together, have a beer and a punt, and within that group I see all guys from different walks of life, and they come together for a common goal, which is just to back a winner and have a good time, and it's very enjoyable to see. So it's just another initiative that we see that racing is all about bringing people together, isn't it? That's what the sport's about, getting together and having a good time and hopefully backing a winner.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned before that you have 2 other horses who are heading on a Magic Millions path. One we might see at the races tomorrow. Can you talk us through it? Yeah,
hopefully a filly called Bella Boom. I thought she was really good, fresh up, drew wide back, and very similar to Formula Rossa, hit the line nicely. She's short price favourite tomorrow, so I think she can run really well. She's a lovely filly that just continue to train on, and a lovely colt called Lockyer, second, first up at Eagle Farm. Very much a work in progress, but I've trialled him since he's in on Saturday as well. I'd love to see him and Hi Barbie separate, to be honest. They're both highly talented, but he's a really nice colt also.
Now we can't finish up without mentioning Antino. He's heading over to Hong Kong. Has he headed over yet, and how's he settled in?
Yeah, he's just landed actually this morning. Flight was a little bit delayed, which is just all part of air travel. He'll settle in well there. He's only in the early stages of getting there at the moment, but he's got a pretty easy week ahead of him, just all about settling and getting used to the new environment. We hope to stretch his legs a little bit at the end of the week, and he'll do his main piece next Thursday. We've been getting some advice from Dave Eustace over there about what to do and what not to do. So it's going to be a very enjoyable week, and going to learn a lot out of it, and hopefully come away with a big prize.
You mentioned before about the importance of these big syndicates in attracting a new audience into racing. How do you think we can bridge that gap in bringing a next-gen fan into racing?
It's a very good question. I think it's very important we do. I think there's There's been so many studies done in racing that we've missed a generation of punter. A lot of them have gone to sports betting, etc., etc. Particularly the kids are so easy on their smartphone watching the footy and have their money on that, where racing has been more focused on the older crowd or the yesteryear's generation. So it's important that we bring these kids through, get them involved in our sport, show them that racing is not just a once-a-year thing. It's not just an Everest, it's not just Cup Week, it's every week, and there's a lot of fun to be had and to get involved. And it's great with platforms like this Racing X to target that demographic, because without the next generation of people coming through to enjoy the sport like I did as a kid, then we don't know where its future lies. So things like Racing X, this platform is vitally important for the next generation.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
If I win the Magic Millions, I will have a distinct lack of sleep for the next few days.